Take your mind into the wonderful world of physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kinetic Hour. Conversations with you and guests. With your host, Kenan Wesley Mason. That's me.
Albertsons and Vons are settling a case with LA County. The district attorney alleges the supermarket chains practice false advertising and unfair competition. Omar Lewis is in Mid-City with the developing news. Hi, Omar.
Sam, good afternoon to you both. We can tell you that many of these customers thought they were getting a good deal. That's until they got to the cash register. The LA County DA's office says Vons and Albertsons rang up higher prices at the register than they advertised, forcing many of these customers to pay higher prices for everyday essential items. And we're not just talking about sticker shock at the cash register either. Investigators also found the weight labels on some products like meats, produce, and baked goods were a bit light, meaning that shoppers got less than what they paid for. The LA County DA's Consumer Protection Division teamed up with other DA office protection units from across the state in Marin, Alameda, Sonoma, Riverside, San Diego, and Ventura counties. They all filed complaints for false advertising and unfair competition. Now the stores must fork over $3.9 million to settle. That includes more than $3.2 million in penalties and nearly $750,000 to cover investigation costs and future enforcement of consumer protection laws. Now, with nearly 600 stores across the state, that means a lot of shoppers are affected by this lawsuit here. We spoke to some of those shoppers. Several of them told us they were surprised by this news.
Yeah, well, I feel duped. I feel shocked and taken advantage of. Like, this is the first I'm hearing about it, but yeah, it is shocking.
How do you respond to this moving forward? Are you looking at your receipt? What are you doing to stop this from happening again?
I will be now, that's for sure.
Well, the LA County District Attorney, George Gascon, said in a statement that reads in part, this kind of corporate conduct is especially egregious when it comes to essential groceries, as Californians rely on accurate advertised prices to budget food for their families. Now, these stores have not admitted any wrongdoing. We did reach out to them for a statement. However, we have not yet heard back. We can also tell you, because of this judgment, these stores will have to run a new price accuracy program where if customers spot any incorrect prices on their receipt, they could receive compensation. So again, the DA's office is telling all of these Vons and Albertsons customers to check your receipts and also check the weights on those goods that we just discussed. That's the latest for now here live in LA's Mid-City neighborhood. I'm Omar Lewis. Sam, Lou, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Kinetic Hour. I am your host, Kenan Wesley Mason. Welcome one, welcome all, and just thank you for allowing me to entertain you for the time allotted. As usual, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe right here, the Kinetic Hour. And that's KENNETIC, the Kinetic Hour. YouTube at the Kinetic Hour. And also Kinetic Fit and Wellness Info, Kinetic Fit and Wellness Info. We are streaming live and simulcasting live, as always, on Instagram Live, on Facebook Live, and on LinkedIn Live. So welcome to everyone listening and watching the Kinetic Hour on all three platforms. And there'll be more to come as the days and months go by with me doing this show. So thank you to everyone that tunes into the Kinetic Hour. The clip that I just played at the top of the show, and because this report here was based here in Los Angeles, this could affect people in other parts of the country, because reports like this may sound familiar to people that don't live in Los Angeles, because I'm quite sure there have been reports of other grocery outlets, not to be confused with the store, the grocery outlet, but just grocery places where you get your everyday food items. In this case, Albertsons and Vons. In other cases, I know Walmart settled a lawsuit a couple of years back, uh, basically for the same type of crimes, if you will. Um, but nonetheless, in other parts of the country where you may see Kroger or any of these other Safeway, other conglomerates that you might see in other parts of the country, you may have seen these type of lawsuits as well. And because we're nearing the weekend, many people around the country do their shopping, grocery shopping, on the weekends. And so now that this lawsuit has been settled, and I happen to have one of these advertisements here for the company that we just witnessed right here. So if you go to the grocery store, if you go to this, any of the, I think he said 600 stores across Southern California, and that includes Los Angeles, Orange County, possibly San Diego County, and Ventura County. So all the Vons and Albertsons, when you go to a Vons and Albertsons and you see that the pack of chicken or turkey breasts right here is supposed to be $1.79 per pound, and let's just say that you had a pack that's $1.79, and it came out to be, just for ease, the sake of easy math, 5 pounds. So it came out to 5 pounds. But when you go to the checkout, they're charging you as if you had 6 or 7 pounds or 7 or 8 pounds. So you're being charged more. And that adds up to extra revenue for every person that goes into any of these grocery stores and thinks that they're purchasing for one price point, but they're deceiving you with what you're taking home. They're deceiving you. And so now companies like, here in this case, Albertsons and Vons, for false advertising, that's what it's called, false advertising, and unfair competition. So now they have to pay a $3.9 million settlement, $3.2 million in $3.2 million in penalties, and 750,000 of that is going to investigation costs and future enforcement of consumer protection laws. And of course, because they settled monetarily, this means that they don't have to admit any guilt or wrongdoing, just like the report said. Similar to Rupert Murdoch settling with Dominion. So he doesn't have to admit that people in his company, his hosts, are deceiving their viewers. deceiving their viewers. So instead of going to defend his company, he settled. And this is obviously what Albertsons and Bonds did as well. They settled a $3.9 million lawsuit with the county of Los Angeles. And so kudos to the people of Los Angeles for catching this, because honestly, most people don't check their receipts when they leave the grocery store. They don't, because that's not the focus. Their focus is getting the food home to their children, right? So most people, they don't look at their their receipts when they have a basket full of groceries. You know, they have 100 items in their basket, and they're going to go down the list of each thing, and then they have their children with them. They're not paying attention because they're watching their children, which is the reason why, again, they're paying a $3.9 million lawsuit. And so, for future reference, for those that grocery shop on a regular basis, just, take a second look. Just take a second look. Just be more aware of what you're purchasing, and if the accuracy is there, just give it a second look. Some people even calculate all their groceries before they go to the store, because we have access to the internet now. So you can pretty much go online, and before you go shopping, calculate all the things that you need to go shopping for. That way you can have an idea of what you're going to be paying when you get to that register. And then you have all these other distractions. You'll have an idea. So that's something to consider as well before you go to the grocery store to shop. But yeah, $3.9 million settlement. And that was just yesterday, that report. In Los Angeles, Albertsons and Vons. So we'll see how much this lawsuit affects business, because there's plenty of other grocery stores where people in their communities can, vote with their dollars. That's what it's all about, voting with their dollars. And with it being political season right now, corporations are really doing what they can to make things right so they can get bigger and better perks moving forward with whoever goes into office. So all of these types of lawsuits, they all matter to the corporation and the people that run them, the shareholders, because they have a fiduciary responsibility to raise the shareholder value, hence the price gouging. Oh, because people at that echelon, they don't care if you spend your last dollar on food. You see all the people on the East Coast that were purchasing all the toilet paper, and as if we were in a pandemic all over again, purchasing toilet paper and paper towels by the dozens and the half dozens. But obviously a deal was made just today, if I'm not mistaken, uh, today or yesterday, and the people are back to work now. There's a lot of things going on when it comes to how people purchase their groceries, and also if they're getting the biggest bang for their buck when they get to the register. So yeah, that's going on right now. And another report, since I put up this picture right here, And this has to do with, again, expenses for the people of America. And before I get to that, I just remembered what I was gonna say earlier when I was looking for that looking for that other report about the grocers. Um, Again, it's political season, and people are complaining about and rightfully so, complaining about the grocery prices and how everything is going up, and it's getting it's for some people it's becoming more and more difficult to purchase the groceries necessary to feed their families. But then you have people such as this character right here. This character, um, he wants you to purchase. Oh gosh, good old Donnie, the Donald. Um, I love Donald. He's a character. I'll just he's a character. um, it's just too easy. It's just too easy. But you have people like the Donald that is complaining about food prices, but at the same time, he wants you to purchase his cereal. His cereal that costs $25. His cereal that costs $25. He wants you to take your hard-earned money to purchase a box of Cheerios, because that's pretty much what they are, a box of Cheerios that's no bigger than, it's what, a 10.6-ounce box. And on another episode, I showed you how big that box is, and he wants you to pay $25 for the presidential crunch, right? The presidential crunch. He wants you to pay $25. Now, I'm pretty sure that neither the Donald or Kamala Harris is worrying about food prices. They're not worried about food prices. JD Vance and Tim Walz, they're not worried about food prices. They're not worried about food prices. No, they want you to worry about food prices. That's politics. They want you to worry about food prices, which is the reason why it's best or better if we just pay a little more attention to what we're purchasing, and possibly, again, calculate what you're going to purchase before you even leave the house, because we have access to the internet, and all these grocers, commercial grocers, all of them have websites in every community. So there's no excuse anymore. But yeah, they're not worried about prices of groceries. They're not. When they get on those planes, you think they're worried. You think they're worried about the prices of their breakfast and lunch and dinner, and asking how much did this cost? No, they're not doing that on either side. But of course, they want you and I to be in our emotions about grocery prices. Vote with your dollars. There's plenty of other outlets where you can purchase your groceries. Vote with your dollars. That's the best way to send a message to any corporation. Vote with your dollars. Now here, this is another, and speaking of, again, expenses, here in California, our governor, Gavin Newsom, filed a lawsuit against the oil corporations because of the high gas prices here in California. that many have complained about, and rightfully so to a degree. But just know that prices of gas are always going to go up, no matter who's in office, whether it's the governor or the president, doesn't matter who's in office. Gas prices are always going to go up with the time. It's just what it is. Gas prices are never going to go back to $1.99. It's just not going to happen. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't matter. It's not going back to that. Those days are over. So Gavin Newsom had a lawsuit against, and I'm going to pull this up here, a lawsuit against, right here, people versus, let's see, people versus the people of the state of California. Let me go over here. Yeah, people of the state of California versus big oil. So this is Gavin Newsom's lawsuit, and I'll show you the company. Matter of fact, I can show you the company right here, because I want to show you the company that's in this lawsuit, and then I'm going to show you the. Let me come out of there, and I'm going to show the company that's being sued right now. So this is the company that's being that had a lawsuit by Governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Actually, I'll put this one up. So this is the company right here. And the company, here we go, is called Vital or Vital Inc. Vital. It's a global oil and gas commodities company. And Gavin Newsom filed a lawsuit against this company here, this corporation. And it's a huge corporation. It's a global corporation. And Gavin Newsom filed a lawsuit against this company here, because I have a paper. I guess this goes in the mail to all consumers here in California. But it was a settlement. Supreme Court of California. Supreme Court of California. Let me come out of here. I don't want to give them too much credence here. Supreme Court of California, County of San Francisco, which is the former mayor of San Francisco was Gavin Newsom. The people of the state of California versus Vital Inc. et al. Case number CGC-20-584456. For those that want verification, you can easily look this up. But Gavin Newsom filed a lawsuit, and obviously there was a settlement, another settlement by big corporations. You know, this is what big corporations, this is what they do. They settle. They settle because they don't want to, like the report in the grocery store report, they don't want to admit any wrongdoing. Zero, zilch, as if nothing ever happened. So this company right here, the people versus, or the people of the state of California versus big oil. And the reasons, and here's the companies right here, as you can see, all the companies that we see over and over again settling different disputes over a period of decades. But we're going to go here, why we're suing them. And this is strictly from the state of California. why we're suing them. Decades of deception. Oil and gas executives have known for decades about the dangers of the fossil fuels they produce. Industry funded reports directly linked fossil fuel consumption to rising global temperatures and damage to our air, land, and water. Next, oil companies intentionally suppressed that information from the public and policymakers to protect their profits, and spent billions of dollars to spread disinformation on climate change and delay our transition away from fossil fuels. Next, oil companies use this information for their own profits, developing new technology to explore the Arctic for oil production because they knew Arctic sea ice was melting. And lastly, the deception continues today. Oil companies promote fossil fuel products as clean or, quote, green or, quote, low emissions that still produce carbon pollution. And they tout their renewable fuel products that actually make up a fraction of a percent of their earnings. And that's the lawsuit filed. And so, because of that, as I come out of here, because of that, there's been a settlement. There's been a settlement. And there's been a settlement, matter of fact. Oh, gosh. And this has to do with not only the gas prices that you pay at the pump, but it also has to do with the gas that you pay in your home. So here is the official or officiality of the settlement here. And this is, again, strictly for Californians that, and I'll read it right here. Did you live in or buy gasoline in California in 2015 or 2016? And this has probably happened in other states across the United States as well. Next, there is a $37.5 million settlement of a lawsuit that may affect your rights. You may be entitled to money. And it just gives you the website right there where you can go to calgaslitigation.com. And for those of you in California, you can put in your settlement request. You can put in your settlement request before January 8th of 2025. As I come out of there. So yeah, and actually this is the let me put this back up real quick because yeah, let me put this one back up. Yeah, let me go here. Because and this right here, when you click on calgaslitigation.com, this is what you'll see here. And for those of you that feel that you were not only duped at the grocery store, but if you feel that you've been duped at the gas pump, which obviously people have been because the suit has been settled, you can put in your request to for monetary compensation for the residents of California. So for all of those people in California, I'm here in Southern California. So especially for those in Southern California, specifically for those that live in certain parts of Los Angeles or including Orange County, you know, the ones that hate Gavin Newsom. They think he's the scum. Republicans, they call him Gavin Newscum. Or that's what the Donald calls him, Gavin Newscum. And you can come in. I'm almost done. They call him Gavin Newscum. And so I'm doing my show. I'm live right now.
I don't want to be live.
Okay, well, just let me finish real quick.
Right here.
Okay, that's my daughter right there. She doesn't want to be on camera right now. But this is for the people that don't really care for Gavin Newsom. You're gonna, if you choose, you can, if you haven't gotten one of these, being a California resident, then yeah, you might want to thank the governor. And for those that live in the Los Angeles area, because again, we don't want to be duped at the grocery store when we have to eat. All of us have to eat. And we don't want to be duped at the gas pump either, or being duped with our gas bill when we have to turn the gas on to cook. That's what people do. They have to use their gas to either cook or heat the house, you know. So this settlement means a lot. And again, it's political season. So keep all this in mind when you cast your vote, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Because again, when Kamala Harris and Donald Trump get on their planes to go to the next city for their campaigns, they're not asking how much the jet fuel costs. They're not. So again, you have the power. You have the power. And you've always had the power. Even a non-vote is you exercising your power, your non-vote. So consider that as well. I'm going to wrap it right there. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Tell everyone that you know to tune in to the Kinetic Hour. I'm doing the best that I can to bring you the best in podcasting, entertainment, and just giving you information that matters to you. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. And until next time.